My right is Mr. Kwaku Bimpe of NPP, who is part of the NPP communication team, UK and Ireland. Thank you for coming, Mr. Bimpe.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And also on my left is Mr. Dominic Imbang, who is chairman of NDC South London, UK and Ireland. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me as well.
Today, we're going to talk about part 2 of last week's topic, which was about HEF, Ghana HEF Service. And our topic is, your topic in here is poverty, preventing the people from benefiting from National Health Insurance Scheme. Since National Health, many commentators argue the positive of it, and other commentators so argue a number of challenges facing the National Health Service. Now, Mr. Kwaku Bimpe. Bimpe.
That's right.
MPP. About your questions are able to. But before then, you say, Mama Mutie, no. Obi busa and now person ofra utimi free free Ghana a plus 447 700 and now free other parts of the world that obitima free who question bi busa Emma Mr. Bimpe of NPP and now Mr. Bang of NDC obitima busa and now myself as well. Now Mr. Bimpe, a number of illnesses or National Health Insurance scheme your illness be a cover, and now some illness say cancer. Oh, now it be a breast cancer there or maybe treat you, but your illness be and doesn't cover. Oh, we are no niska or the be cover no until basana Ghana siku fiuku na kese nipa no. You declare so because oni ska o de be oni buafo o be those people know what is the plans of the government or media support to areas now uncover.
But that's it, Kofi. And they come and I'd like to say a big thank you to Mateo Funyina, Omega House TV, and MPP UK for Muti, Chairman, Mr. Nkansa, and our Communications Director, and Nanansa. And I'm Lieutenant Chairman Peters, and Lieutenant Executive. And I go via no Uti, and I will support me. Team try to text messages, no. But that's it, Kofi. And Mr. Mbang, so thank you for having us here, coming around. Now, the issue of coverage in the day, even though the health insurance policy, scheme, a very good idea, but just like any insurance policy or coverage, I and time cover everything. So particularly the way Omar runs our National Health Insurance scheme for a while. Personally, me feels very difficult. Some because of more cover all illnesses all kinds. Some of them are quite, very serious. Now care costs are also very expensive. Now may try to find around a few figures on cancer care per patient. Apparently it's around £30,000 per patient for chemo processing the medications. So we present about running National Health Insurance scheme. They will run into serious financial problems. And the door opens up for other players to come in, other NGOs to come in, and other development partners. And I know, say, USAID, any DFID, and a few other organizations, yes, specific interventions. It was our illnesses now, but boy, in the home. Now, door now open door for private sector to also get involved. Say, I buy into me and cover. There's no reason why private sector cannot come in to cover. So we Chrome Highway you have different levels of insurance packages. In addition to your NHIS grants, our private insurance should you choose to do it as a choice. Different packages. In fact, some of the packages are quite extensive. It tells you the benefits and the cost, and you then have to make an informed decision as to which package you go for. And to be beside will be ideal for Sanko for no to me afford and even for family to support them in some of the minimum payments, you know. And to share has a me personally be gold, silver, and bronze service. And a gold service you pay a bit more, but you also get more benefits. And you actually even get more money when you're sick and you go to hospital. And some of these incentivized private insurance schemes, you know, will be a way forward for such and for to me. And as such, the arena is not covered under the National Health Insurance Scheme. No. Now, problem back home is that SaaS sector is highly regulated into as I buying. It's deregulating the kakra. Now, other players coming in, expanding access and coverage to cover some of these illnesses. No. See, to me, as I think that insurance-wise, you know, and that's a area of so you know, Ghana, in the sense that there will be more cure for some of these quite serious illnesses. Okay. And the way to go forward, you know, is to deregulate the insurance, private insurance sector. Now, for other players to come in addition to.
Now, how do they do it? Because this year will be, for instance, Oma, Sisi Omuwom Sisi, and Obianya. Heart and brain, like when you experience heart or brain surgery, and I say when you experience any illness,
yeah.
Now, won't me any support, no motiti ho sano. Now, what do you think? Edian, I feel a bit my to expand the insurance services to cover all these illnesses.
And you know, I've already mentioned a few, but unfortunately, it's all insurance. You have to get yourself educated about policies now. What was covered and what's not covered.
Government, you know. I cover Saturday. And now this one, no. I mean, this is not only to this government.
Yeah.
It's since you share, sir, National Health Insurance Scheme, no. Any panel fan fees, any panel, because you are in a cover, no, just ukwani amount to medro now, and as you say, oh, in yet so and the illness you feel that a serious a bit my boy nipano.
Yeah.
That's what we were crashing on why never folk a crack when you sick on so insurance or you be a cover. When they are not educated about it. Over one say by a failure.
The problem never go and our boy. Education is key. You know, I know say all kind of sometimes insurance documents they're so long and they're so tiny you can't even read to understand. You can't make sense of it. But education is the key for and for purposes signing up to be aware of benefits at the point of signing up, so they're aware what they're getting into. I also know the National Health Insurance Scheme and some review coverage every now and then. And the first night Arabian name now is covering it. And you know, I'm confident that with time, you know, some of these might be in there. But key, get educated, find out what's covered, what's not covered. If you have to do extra insurance, even on at a cost to a family member, I mean, Ghana, we have that family system to be able to do it. But it will be a way forward.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mbang.
Yeah.
Meaning say you want to, you understand the tree, but you want to
speak in English. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, you can repeat the question for me.
Yeah. In Ghana, you know, we have free National Health Insurance Scheme for those who have kind of registered or who have purchased or bought the insurance scheme through the insurance policy. And many people, when they buy the insurance, all they know is that they are buying it to cover their illnesses.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't cover all illnesses. For instance, if you have a dialysis for chronic kidney problem, or failure, you know, it doesn't cover you. Organ transplant, it won't cover you. Yeah. And there is a number of drugs which are not listed under the National Health Insurance Scheme as well.
Yeah.
So, for example, drugs which could help you to heal quickly may not be there for you, or for one reason or another. And cancer, apart from treatment for cervical and breast cancer, you know, it doesn't also cover it. So if you have stomach cancer, for instance, you may not get treatment. You know, you have to pay for yourself. And some people, they cannot afford to pay for it. So what happens to those who cannot make out-of-pocket payments to access areas not covered under the scheme? And what can be done to expand the insurance services to cover all illnesses? You know, I mean, considering that National Health Insurance Scheme has been there for a long time, and it has covered all the, most of the political parties have gone through it. in Ghana. So what can be done? Because these poor people, people who we considered as not having have privileges to pay, are the ones suffering. And they go and buy this insurance thinking that it will cover them, and it doesn't cover them. What can be done as an NDC representative?
Yeah, that's right. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all listeners from UK here, also in Ghana and all over the world. I know your program has now reached different places, even in Europe. So I want to thank anybody who has tuned in to listen to this important program. I also want to thank your staff for inviting me, and my brother who is representing MPP as well. I would like to thank all NDC members who have tuned in and they are watching the program, that they should stay on and then listen to everything. The question, yes, thanks for the question. It is true that the National Health Insurance doesn't cover all sicknesses. It covers actually about 95% of all sicknesses. So 5% is not covered. And then I think when you are completing the form, you have an area where you will see what is covered and what is not covered. And therefore, I think it is important to know when you are even signing for this that you know the sicknesses that are covered and those that are not covered. It is a fact that when the National Health Insurance scheme was started, it did not cover all the sicknesses.
Hold on 1 second. Hello. How can we help you? No, are you calling for the program, please? We are doing live program. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I think you may have...
Yeah, that's right. So I think that it is important for people to be educated as to what is covered. Of course, we know that major things like cancer treatment, apart from what you said, cervical and breast cancer, that is not. But we also have to understand that if it is an emergency, it doesn't matter what type of sickness, you are supposed to be covered.
Yeah.
And I think our government tried to reach out to those people who were vulnerable. And the last time I did speak about it, about 1.6 million people were registered in the last administration to reach out to those people who were vulnerable, especially people that are institutionalized, like those in the leprosy departments, for instance, mental health, children who are under 18 years old, pregnant women. All these people are vulnerable people. And those with special needs as well are exempted. It then means that when they get any of the sicknesses at all, they will be treated. So the 5% that is left that is not covered is the area that, you know, me and you as Ghanaians, we have to find out ways and means in which we can cover everything. Because it doesn't make sense to say that, oh, these particular conditions are covered and these are not covered. We know that sicknesses like cancer, as you mentioned, dialysis, if you are needing cosmetic surgery, HIV, which is a major health hazard, for instance, are not covered. And that of when it comes to brain surgery, or when you have to treat what they call a cancer, for instance. So if these conditions are not covered, then what is the guarantee that the National Health Service is doing much for us? So I think that as at now, those who are paying through, those who are salaried workers, for instance, in Ghana, are paying up to 2.5% of their salary towards the contribution of National Health Service. If you are from the UK here and you look at the National Health Insurance, the National Health that we are in, you can see clearly when you take your pay slip, for instance, look the details of it. You see how much you are contributing towards health. They say it is free at the time of receiving it, but it's not free. We are actually paying for it. So how are we going to cover the remaining 5%? Definitely, first of all, we have to make sure that the 95% is well covered administratively, that people are able to get the drugs that are meant to be given to them, if as is speculated in the what you call in the completion of the form when you are completing it. And secondly, we need to educate people that this is a situation we need to cover all. And by that, it'll mean that we have to find ways and means by encouraging people to contribute more, because we have not captured some businessmen in Ghana who possibly are even earning than salaried workers. So I think that is a good group of people that we can get in to be able to. And then there are also charitable organizations that are able to help in some of these things. So definitely the 5% is an area where me and you can have a conversation and make sure that we equally cover it, because it doesn't make sense to say that something is free and then you say, as for this sickness, it's not free. I mean, in the case of cancer, who buys cancer? It comes just like that. Likewise, kidney problems, like you mentioned. I know that the whole country, we do not have a place to even treat kidney stones. Something that in this country, you go just for an outpatient department. If you get kidney stones in Ghana today, you either have to come to Europe or you go to South Africa. These are things that are we are capable of. Because
so you mentioned a good point here. You said that if one have a kidney stone, then they have to go abroad.
Yes.
But then those, now we are talking, this program is for the people where we say the disadvantaged people of Ghana.
That's right.
What did they do? They cannot afford even to travel from Kumasi to Accra. Let alone you are talking about going to abroad. Is this fair on those people? And do you think that if NDC or MPP are not able to do it for these people, should they vote for them?
No,
because then they are denying them.
It is absolutely not even right that we have government funds raised, and this one is cut across. It's not like MPP or NDC. It's cut across. Whoever. I'm speaking about a situation where someone gets some sickness and he has to be flown outside. Of course, the National Health Service doesn't cover that, but then we are saying that even the 95% is not, the coverage is not there. Common malaria treatment, sometimes people are asked to pay for it, and that is not good enough. So we are saying that for the vulnerable people, there shouldn't be any exception at all. They should be able to be treated at all. And how do we get them? I did mention the categories of people who are vulnerable, for instance. Otherwise, the rest of the other conditions, it is something that we have to educate our brothers and sisters and ourselves and make sure that we are able to reach a stage where we can contribute enough to cover 100% of our illnesses in Ghana.
Do you have anything to say about what Mr. Mbang is saying? Who will be become dear Mr. Mbang?
Well, he's made some good points. He's made some good points, and I think it covers a lot of what the question demands us to. Yeah. You know, the other option would have been to say government has to increase its funding or contribution towards the fund. But this is why I have a problem, because I think the fund has not been managed properly in the past.
So I just want to ask both of you, Mibusamo, quick question, 1 minute each. So what message do you have about the poor people, and what message do you have for the government? What do you want as a MPP?
Well, for those, well, as I've already said, no, we can always rely on some family members to, you know, chip in for any extra. I strongly believe in that, any extra protection that's needed. And I get the point of if the National Health Insurance scheme is free and it's not free and it's not taking care of everything. But just like many other government projects, you know, sometimes you have to look at the way it's been operationalized, and then you can make, you know, recommendations or little tweaks to it. I think this has been managed badly in the past couple of years, which is why they've ended up with a situation with a huge debt, which we'll talk about later on. So for me, again, let's get in some more private insurance to come and deal with the extras until government is in a position.
No minister what the private bar. So it's private in the whole. Ghana, we have 3 systems. Those who wants to go to private, you pay like a car insurance. Well,
as I said before, there are many levels or packages of insurance. So, you know, I'm sure there will be one for everybody. And unless we reach that health utopia where everything is perfect, we're always going to have people not being able to afford it. And we're always going to have people able to afford it. So unfortunately, it's a build up. And the more we get used to these things, I think in the end, the better it will be in terms of being more fully aware of the benefits of some of the insurance policies.
Okay, thank you. Now,
yes, I think the message to the vulnerable is that we've started it already in the last administration. When my brother spoke about that it was badly managed, I don't think it's actually he's accurate with that, because the reality is that the National Health Insurance Scheme under the previous government, Muhammad's administration, we did so much well. We were able to, in 2014 alone, we had over 26 million people that visited the A&E department, as compared to 2009 when we didn't have even up to 500. So there was good utilization of the National Health Service. The point we are speaking about here is the fact that the 5%, we will tell the vulnerable people that there is no 5% for them. They are covered 100%, because at the end of the day, you cannot tell somebody who cannot afford to pay anything at all to say that the person should contribute towards it, when in actual fact he's not able to do so. Like those in the institutions I spoke about, children, for instance, and people in the mental health departments and the rest. They cannot afford, they can't, and therefore they should be covered 100%. How do we do that? I think we did it in the past. Government has to step in to help the vulnerable in that sense. But then we also need to reach out to the private organizations, for instance, and also businessmen, and see how best we can also capture also people who are working. Because in Ghana, the salaried people are not the only people who are working. There are a lot of businessmen who make even more money than people who are working for the state. And therefore, we should be able to capture all these people to make a contribution, so that at least the National Health Service will reach everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that must be brave. For where yes, Rama, I'm no. Mon try na mon share program no ma other people. You can share it on Facebook to your friends, so that they will also be almost be the ECOSO EFA National Health Insurance Scheme no. Any the challenges are you face it. I face no YouTube. Who person when YouTube, I bet my when YouTube, so mon share to other people. Say me I heard no YouTube. It's live on YouTube, so it will be a more than say mobile through YouTube. Mr. Bimpe, my second question I'm person the mouno. Interesting one. You Ghana, nurse, and there is a rise in the rate of nursing unemployed in Ghana. In fact, my research suggests that 2016 batch, ebi kura da ho wo fie. Omu nya adwuma nye. Omu be nya adwuma so a, kire omu kofa job a lower position than their qualification. And therefore, koye adwuma as a nursing assistant rather than as a qualified nurse. On wakoye training is until when they create tension and fear within the nursing and midwifery sectors, And after you could discourage other people from going into that profession, because we school no better fee no nya adwuma nya dia then wakoye. Oh, and ebinum say many commentators are saying that there is artificial. It's all artificial so oversupply of nursing staff because of the way it's been managed, And ube school, I wouldn't how long I'll be there. Difficult. So, what do you think can be done from the government? I bet me I change this, perception, this situation, whereby Obiako school, the parents are boka on who are obey no. Now if what if ye, ono onyajma, obenyajma so I say, kokofa nursing assistant rather than be a nurse.
Yeah.
But what is creating the problem and what is the way forward? We have idea creative problems.
But that's a coffee. It's just a terrible situation to have in Ghana at the moment. We need nurses and doctors in serious quantities, and therefore it's a shame. Say after completing school, they have to stay at home. But since this government took over, there was a backlog. It's been happening in the other administration, and there was a lot of backlog between 2012 and 2015. And this current MPP government has been working hard to clear the backlog. Eventually, some of the reports that have come out trying to get the nurses through, but some that has taken 3-4 years to build up. It takes time to release the block. It's unfortunate. It's very easy for me to say, let's get more spending into health. That would be one of the ways forward. But that is just on the government side, on a bigger scale. Now, if you look at the way nurses are normally deployed, in the past it used to be that as soon as you finish training, you are posted, and then your salaries is just worked out, some clearance from Accra later on, and it was creating problems. It led to nurses having demonstrations and stuff like that. So, you know, what they do in the practice now is changed slightly, where now they're using employment quota. So they have budget management committees at the regions and the regional level and district level to look at employment for the nurses. And then, so they employ a certain amount within the regions and the districts, then get clearance from Ministry of Finance. Now, for me, I think there's still over-reliance in Accra for this clearance thing. So, you know, decentralization will really work. There is a NAPCO, which is also helping to relieve some of the backlog. And there is also this idea some of the nurses don't want to go to certain places. When they're posted to certain towns and villages, they don't want to go. So there's a lot of them who want to go to a particular place, and that also creates the problem in terms of, you know, clearing the backlog.
Such places? Because the country is in need.
I know. There is a talk of decentralizing, creating vacancies rather than postings. So, you know, each region or each district will advertise how many nursing vacancies are there based on how many hospitals and clinics are in the district. And then the nurses will have to go and apply, like we do here. So there's a job advert, either you do it through an advertising recruitment agency, or, you know, you have some kind of a time frame where you send a message to all nurses that, you know what, between this period, we're going to advertise for jobs. So therefore you go and apply. I think that's the way forward, because it will take off the over-reliance on Accra. It will take off that bureaucracy and the bottlenecks of that clearance with the Ministry of Finance. Now, there are, you know, other incentives, or there are other initiatives like the, you know, community-based health planning services, which is, at the moment, the government is constructing about 3,000 of those to do with care at the community level. So that will require a lot more of community health nurses. So that will also take some of the backlog. But I think that, you know, the best suggestion has been that let's advertise the jobs rather than the postings, which we're used to. It's too much bureaucracy from Accra. And even though whoever is posting is aware of how many students are finishing school any particular year, it's surprising how that's not done until they finish and they have to wait. And of course, you know, there is that political argument for the backlog from 2012 to 2015. And, you know, maybe Dominic will be fair and will be honest on that with us. It's the way the previous government managed the whole process, you know.
So how long do we wait? You better train for nurses, you know. I'm unemployed. Well,
Kofi, you know, since the government took over, it's been 2 years and it's been dealing with a lot of mess that was left over. If that wasn't there, maybe some of these nursing issues and nursing employment would have been done. And don't forget, as part of the IMF Day, there was an embargo on graduate employment. So graduate nurses will not be employed as part of the IMF package.
So what the message is that, sir, you know, NDC are buying also first, you know. And critics are messy.
It's, of course, ultimately they're responsible for it. Ultimately, there was a government in power, and therefore they're responsible for it. But the backlog is easing. It's easing. As I said, we've had reports that, you know, eventually, in fact, I read one report that about 32,000 health personnel were going to be employed, and out of that, a huge number was going to be nurses. So with time, you know, the government has sorted out all the macroeconomic indicators, and is looking forward to sorting some stuff like this nursing issue. And I'm very confident that, you know, as we go along in 2019, you know, the backlog will be reduced.
Well, yeah, as you go along with 2020,
well, we're only solving a problem that we inherited.
No,
you know, we had a problem, a long list of backlog from 2012 to 2015.
Yes.
So we're only doing what we can at the moment. We've had 2 years. We've done a lot better on the economy. We've done well with all the other fiscal indicators. Now, some of these things are all part of the process. So moving forward, I'm very confident that we'll see a change in the backlog. So it won't be an upward trend during the MPP government. I can assure you that it will be a downward trend in terms of nurses not getting to jobs and staying at home for too long. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Mbang.
Yeah.
What the
Yes, I've heard what he said. My brother, you know, sometimes you have to deal with the case. It is not good enough to always put blame on a previous government. Let me tell you the records of the previous government. We made sure that the infrastructural development for the health sector was at its best. 3 teaching hospitals, regional hospitals, 16 district hospitals. We built over 1,500 CHIP compounds. I'm speaking about the Mama administration alone. Health services, we've built all these places. You are aware of the Maritime Hospital, Rich Hospital. You are also aware of the 37 military hospital, the extension of it, and that of police hospital.
So how come the nurses
So let me finish my statement. Now, we have over 37,000 health professionals who are not employed in Ghana. You didn't inherit that from us. In every year in Ghana, over 12,000 health professionals qualify out. If you want to know the trend of how these things are, over 12,000 qualify out from the institutions. We have got hospitals that are completed. We have got, they are finished. They have got all the equipment that is needed. And these nurses are at home. These nurses are at home. In fact, doctors are at home. Over 400 doctors are not employed in Ghana. And the nurses, over 100,000 of them. So when we speak about that we've inherited from the what you call the NDC government, I can assure you that I worked in the health service in Ghana for over 10 years. And I've never seen nurses just sit down, and I mean not even auxiliary nurses, qualified nurses. You speak about you spoke about the degree nurses, not only degree nurses, those who went to the traditional schools, midwives and diploma nurses, for instance, they are at home. And they have been home for the past 2 years. That is not our time. In our time,
hold on,
they were working.
I want to find out something. So who feel that they are home for the past 2 years? So this government is the one creating.
Yeah. So the message is very simple. It is the choice of everything. When our government was on, you remember the situation of taking off the nurse's salary and that of teacher's salary at the time. The essence of that was to enlarge and make sure that we train more nurses. When they took a political opportunity and then came back to say, oh, we give you the allowances. If you ask the nurses now, how many times have they not demonstrated to Accra to say, we need the money, there's no even, we are not speaking about that. The reality is that even UK, as we sit here, their nurses, they've banned the bursary, the salaries. Because the reality is that nursing is not like those days where people just go and then they are taught how to. We now have degree nurses and diploma nurses. So for instance, if you have these qualified nurses, for instance, why will it be that you'll be giving them bursary when in actual fact you can use that opportunity to enlarge and recruit more people? This does not mean that they were going to go and then pay for themselves, but it means that they were going to be getting the student loans just like any tertiary institution, because the nursing institutions are now tertiary institutions. It's not like those days where they came out with certificates. They're now coming out with diplomas and degrees. And therefore, they should equally get. But then what didn't happen? They took opportunity because we said we're going to strike off the what they call the nurses' bursary. And they said, when we come, we're going to put it back. It is easy said than done. The reality is that this government has failed to employ them.
Or our listeners want to hear this. So what you are saying is that the bursaries were stopped, is it? Or they said that they will put the bursary back?
No, the bursary was stopped for a reason. And we went around the institutions and explained to them what it meant. Just like this country, when you get admission to go to the university, you are given a bursary, isn't it? I mean, a loan. And that loan was going to be replacing the bursary. So that when they finish their nursing, they will be able to do what? Work and pay back the loan. Just like any other person going to do, let's say someone goes to do a degree in nursing and another person goes to do something like biomedicine or the rest.
What effect does it have on the unemployment, the rising trend then?
Yeah, so what we are saying here is, we are saying the nurses are at home. Even those who are trained, they have not been employed. And the question, I think, what my brother was trying to put across was that you got the backlog from us. Not at all. In 2016, we had almost all those who completed 2014-15, they were at work. They were at work. But then we now have nurses who finished about 2 years ago, they are at home. And if we have choices where you rather prefer, the country needs them. This is a paradoxical kind of surplus, you might have to put it that way. The country needs the nurses, but there is no financial ability to be able to employ them. That's what the government is having now. But then who has caused it? If you think about the choices they have made and the kind of monies that were spent on other things that could have put these people at work, it is their government. And it is their failure. And the thing that my brother just need to tell us how you're going to resolve it, and rather than saying, oh, we inherited it from us. No, I don't think so.
Do you have anything to
Well,
say?
I have already said.
Who will be
I've
become
already told you what the government has done. The government is working hard to clear the backlog. But
Okay.
it will just be fair for you to admit responsibility. It was during, you mentioned a lot of infrastructure. You were in government for 8 years, so that is your responsibility. You have to do it. And if you didn't do those, God knows what you have done.
But
I mean, it's a case of why have we not had this backlog conversation? I can't remember the last time we had a conversation about NHIS backlogs, apart from recently. And so I'm not sure.
Apart from your government time.
No.
Apart from your government
because
time.
it was inherited from your time, which is what I'm saying. So I don't know whether you know the issue and you're trying to find a way around it, or you're just trying to to lie to the viewers.
No.
Everybody knows that it was a backlog from 2012 to 2015. So I don't know what you're reading.
No, it is not the case.
That's the case.
Those
that's
who
the case.
finished 2014,
you were in government.
2015
You were in government.
are in
Dominic, you were in government 2 terms.
Yes.
Okay. So why is it that of all the infrastructure that you're telling me and all the investment you're talking about, while we have a NHIS trade allowance was even cancelled, why do we have NHIS in our home from 2012 to 2015? Okay, we have just taken over and we're trying to clear the backlog, and the backlog is being cleared gradually as part of, changing Ghana and transforming Ghana. So I'm a bit surprised that you can't admit responsibility. You can't admit responsibility for the backlog from 2012 to 2015. Who was in government in 2012 and 2015?
That's right.
It was James Gatman.
But
that's when the problem started.
Yeah, the 37,000 that are at home now got accumulated over the 2 years. I just mentioned to you that 12,000.
You have a backlog. You got to clear the backlog.
I've just mentioned that those who finished in
have
2014
so
and
that
15,
has to be cleared before you can do anything else.
Those who finished 2014 and 15, they are at work. So in actual fact, it is your turn that those who have completed, you haven't employed them. That is what Ghanaians know about. That's the reality.
Okay.
I can't recall Ghana having this problem when President Kufuor was in power. I can't recall this. Talk of infrastructure. Every government somehow prioritizes health infrastructure. There are many infrastructure that was done by the Kufuor administration.
But the one that
but we're having this conversation now because during your government, we had this problem as part of the government's inability to be able to manage itself properly and manage Ghana properly. And this is why we have this problem. And it's good to admit that we can move on from there.
No,
it's not a problem at all.
We manage the health service. I gave you figures. I told you that over 26,000, we are speaking about the National Health Service, utilized the National Health Service. They went to A&E. In fact, we paid about 1 billion for claims. If people don't come to the hospital and they are treated, how will the claims be paid?
What do you mean
as compared to only about 450,000 in 2009, and then I'm speaking of people who utilize the A&E department, and then spending less than even one.
So how is that the MPP's fault? With insurance policies, claims go up as the coverage goes up. So
no, you are saying that everything went down. That it was.
No, I'm talking about nursing. We're talking about nursing backlogs. I'm not talking about insurance coverage and claims. But so I don't see how the two are connected.
No,
Dominic.
the two are connected. The two are connected because the reality is that.
Memo continue. I will let you continue, Mr. Bang. But me person me catch it here for. Obi person will call you in. I'll bet you call you in. Right? You can call in on 07961 700 521. 07961 700 521. So person busa question bia ubetimi dey to board about National Health Insurance Scheme. Mr. Bimpe or Mr.
Bimpe, yeah.
Obi airframe inti yentie etiefo no.
You have to correct all the
Mr. Bimpe. Mr. Bimpe, yeah, okay.
Before I get told off again.
Good evening. But you free for program no. Oh, sorry. All right, thank you. Wait, sorry, I thought he was calling for the program, but it's not. Etiefobia upesa ufra 07961 700 521. So upesa ufra now who question be pusa. Hold on, sorry. Good evening. So what is your question? Do you have a question, ma? And okay, thank you. What?
I heard him. I heard him very clear. My brother, I am not sweeping anything under the carpet. I'm just putting the records right. I'm just simply saying, and I'm repeating again, that during our time, we did not have these 37,000 people staying at home. We left office in 2016. Those who finished 2014 and 2015, if you check, they are not the people who are the backlog. And it is surprising that, you know, we have hospitals that are ready to take these people, and those hospitals are really left empty. We've built the hospitals. We've put the machines and everything in. Like, for instance, the medical school in Legon, for instance, it has been completed. We have a lot of hospitals that are completed with all the equipment and everything put in. And then we are not employing them. But we are rather having choices of where we spend the money, which we know that the taxpayer is actually suffering out of that. So it is not, I'm not sweeping it under the carpet. I just simply saying that it wasn't our time.
Hold on, Mr. Mbang. Good evening, Pacho. One year now, free. Pacho, free. Okay, free. Pacho, now who question beyond Nanama?
Obakaya, Onwane ex-president Mahama, Oye campaign of Kami said, necessary Omo allowance in Yadina, Obetra says Cano, Obetra, Obepas of the opposition, so which is Cano. Okana be sat at Mesa Restaurant, I over 1 time premium away. I met you for failure on promise. Mokasa, we then don't see this for. Now we got the same independent, want to be challenged as a couple to be more of here. That I was a point in Zealand. What do you see now? We see that independent woman who soon to be shown my lap as a to be shown. I said, I'm going to face over the Ghana for 30 years. It is our mess in my own course. And this is twice of the MVP twice of the year. No one said it is the Ghana for the being a lot of mess.
Okay, thank you. Mr.
Yeah, I think he was indicating it to me. My sister, thanks for making your comment. I can tell you again that, and I will continue to say this, that the reality is that when we spoke about taking of the allowances, there was a replacement of the allowance. It was for them to get loans because nursing institutions are equally considered as tertiary institutions. It wasn't because we couldn't pay. And the advantage about that was for us to be able to employ or train more nurses. We took over from 2009 Kufuor's administration. We had only 25 health institutions. When we finished office, or we left office, we left behind 95 health institutions. So we are speaking about putting the infrastructure in place, getting what is needed to put in place. There were no nurses when we were leaving office like the way we see it now. And then all what you are saying is that we have put a backlog and we are the cause of it. I won't take that. I don't think that is also fair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I just add?
Okay.
You know, I think Dominic, you know, must accept the fact that, you know, after 30 years of ruling Ghana, the NDC as a social democrat party has completely failed Ghanaians. If they made the right investments in health, we will not be having this conversation. After 30 years of ruling Ghana, if they had a priority to increase health investments and to sort out the health sector, for them, NDC as a social democrat party, they could have done it if they wanted to. It wasn't a priority for them. So I think Dominic is fair. You can admit it to the viewers that your party failed Ghanaians on health.
No,
okay. Of course it did.
Yeah. We did not fail Ghanaians at all.
So, as a way forward, you know,
because during our time,
the people are still struggling in the sense that what my argument, but you see, I made the question be doctors, the medical people going to medical school.
Yeah,
I mean, to get to medical school is difficult.
Of course, yeah.
You know, people spend a lot of money, you know, on their young people or children.
Yeah.
to get to that stage. Hold on. Pacho, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
You calling about the program, Anna?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Pacho, Pacho, you're frozen and I'm free. Okay, yeah, Mr. Oyano Wakasadi and Kakram. Pacho, what question you're saying? Mr. Robert Makasadi and Kakra. My phone on Tiawano, Okay. Thank you. I'm Bajo Free State Bay. New York. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, Mr. Mbang, who will be become who and I young Koso?
Yeah. I think everybody wants to say that during our time we left behind what is happening now. I still say it is not the case. We have, during our time, the National Health Service was at its best. In fact, it was our time that we registered the highest percentage in the country and the utilization of it. So we are speaking about nurses who are not employed and doctors and other allied services and the rest. These people are supposed to be employed. It is wrong choices that the current administration is doing. That is why the nurses are at home. If you want to spend about 12 million on drones, and then you have empty hospitals with all the facilities, the scans and everything that can employ the nurses and the doctors, and you think you would rather be spending about 12 million on drones, for instance, that is bad luck.
Okay.
Secondly, we had your national chairman, Honorable Freddie Blay, buying over nearly 275 buses. No, I am speaking about choices here. If they come back, that is not for the country. That is for the party. And we are speaking about Ghana.
No, he's going off
and we are speaking about Ghana.
Dominic,
So the choices is the choices.
Dominic, you're going off track.
No, I'm not going off track. That is money that can be used to employ these
private
nurses.
money. That's private money.
Private money. Who gave that money?
Have you not? He's already answered that question. He's already answered that question.
Oh God,
the question is
you can't tell him what to do with his money.
No. That's an individual having that money. You see the reason why corruption is eating you up.
And these men have had more money than that.
Do you see how corruption is eating you up?
That's not
One
corruption.
individual has bought.
Dominic,
that's not corruption.
Everyone will have their chance.
That's not corruption.
Answer the question.
Okay. So what is it?
Yeah.
Because it seems
So
you're talking a lot.
No.
We're talking
Question. No.
Yeah.
Let me say.
It's a new question. Okay.
There is a long wait following completion of medical school.
Yes.
To starting housemanship.
That's right.
And you know how difficult it is to
right.
even get to medical school in Ghana because we don't have many institutions or universities. You need a higher grade. School. Then another long wait from completion of housemanship to becoming a permanent registered doctor.
That's right.
And this period, a frustration period. I quite remember say even there has been cases and be university almost free chrono. No, I a odd job because they don't want to wait for all this process. This has resulted in many doctors remaining at home for over a year. The government is aware, and successive government, this has been going on. Yes, still, the country needs doctors to attend to the population.
Yeah.
But when we invest, when we in the house, my so share, you must say no, baby. In your view as NDC, what can be done to address this issue?
Yeah, on my view, and we've done it before. The reality is that we have over 400 doctors that are unemployed in Ghana today. The records are there for everybody to see. It is not right when the ratio between a doctor to the patient is that high in Ghana and we have people who are not employed. What will I do? we were building these hospitals. We were not building these hospitals to complete and just leave empty hospitals. They were going to be employed by these doctors and nurses and other health professionals. We're not building the teaching hospitals or upgrading the regional hospitals to some of them to teaching hospitals just for nothing. It's for them to be employed. And with sound administrative choices, for instance, we should be able to employ these doctors. They should be able to go to the hinterland. They should be able to go to, and we started, the district administration was sponsoring some doctors, and anytime they finished, they went back to the district. That was during our time. There was a time as well that we said that every region, when you train 100 people, for instance, you retain 60 and 40 will go to the national, for redirection or redistribution. What happened about that was some regions were getting a lot of, especially I'll give an example like Northern region, for instance, was having, they had almost over 70% that were not qualified, health professionals, meaning that a lot of the auxiliary training institutions are located in that area. So the plan was then looked at again, and then we then started doing the central way of posting people to different places. During our time, we did that, and then it worked perfectly well. We did not have a situation where over 400 doctors are staying at home. I'm repeating again. And the records are there in Ghana for people to see. We did not have a situation where over 10,000 nurses were staying at home.
Hold on.
This is
human
resources wastage.
Where classification. So you are saying that at no time when NDC government was in power, more than 400 doctors were unemployed, or became unemployed. No such things. Have you finished? What we can? Have you finished?
Yeah, I've just said that we didn't have a situation like that. But all the time, people are saying, and it's not just the health side. Oh, we came and got that mess. We came and got that mess. But you have forgotten that all the monies and the scandals that have happened within the shortest time is money. So that money, where did you get the money from?
Don't talk about scandals.
No, of course the scandals are there.
Don't go there.
But
the scandals during Muhammad's time were just
you speak
ridiculous.
About that.
So don't go to scandals. Let's stick to health for now.
There was just one car that a friend gave it to him, and he had to go to create.
Really?
He had to go to be.
So all those bus branding, Jida, Sada, all those things are not true.
Let me finish.
Dominic, where have you been?
No. I've been around, and I go to Ghana.
You seem to be churning out figures. I'm not really sure where you're.
It is not. That's the reality.
Can I do my submission?
My brother, the reality is that anything that MPP does, for instance, people think that it's all right, and all those people who were speaking on behalf of Ghanaians, like the civil servants, the civil society, the pastors and whatnot, everybody is quiet now. When in actual fact, wrong decisions are being made and people are going through this hardship. And yet, we think that it is. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Dominic, I don't know where you're churning out these figures from.
That's the figures.
It'll be interesting to see the source. Now, if there are that many doctors at home and that many nurses at home,
I just want to say to the audience, Obia Pese, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to call us on 07961 700 521. 07961 700 521. Also, please share the program and both on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you. Okay, yes.
If that many doctors are sitting at home, it's because of his administration's bad management that has again made that possible. I can't recall any time in Ghana's history where we've had that many doctors sitting at home.
It is your time.
After when NDC has been in power for 8 years, and they have refused to look into health service and to sort it out. And I think that graduate unemployment maybe has something to do with that IMF package. So again, it's quite worrying when NDC people talk about the fact that MPP is to blame for things like that. No way. It was your government, Dominic, that made the conditions possible for such things to happen. Anyway, regarding doctors and the posters, it's a bit ridiculous to be trained as a doctor after all these years and after all the money being spent, and then to stay at home in the name of waiting for financial clearance. I think that is just a waste of. It's just a waste of time, money, and everything else. And again, it comes back to dysfunction of public service, where the public sector is not able to effectively function. And, during the last administration, that 8 years, they did nothing about it because it was quite clear, well, if you did, it would have been a lot better now, but you didn't. And therefore, this problem has come out. During that time, there's a lot of money getting missing, but I won't go into that. I just want to stick to the doctors.
Bring it out. Bring it out. I want to see that.
So, you know, people are staying at home. You know how many doctors are in universities. You know how many doctors will graduate every year. And yes, still, doctors have to wait for God knows how long to get clearance. Again, non-functional public sector. This government has launched the public sector reform strategy, okay, when it's going to look into how the public sector works effectively and how to turn it around. And that is how we transform Ghana. And that's just one of the many things. Of course, it's a very huge thing. Now, doctors should be able to accept postings to anywhere in Ghana. Of course, you go to medical school wanting to practice medicine. It's like going to the army. You know, at some point you go to war. So you can't wait and say when there's war, then you start saying that you're not feeling well. So, you know, you go to medical school because you want to practice, and therefore you should be able to accept postings to wherever you're posted to. And I think that moral argument has to be the first case, that as a doctor, you get that posting to that village and you go and practice. And I think that has to be a fundamental, you know, concept or content somewhere in the contract they sign at medical school. If that's not the case, then I think it will be quite beneficial to do that. Now, I've already talked about.
So how are you going to get them there? Because they don't want to go there. I mean,
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. As a doctor, there is that moral argument. We all have
jobs. A young doctor. I mean, he's still a student, and what I spoke to one in about 3 of them in Kumasi University of Science and Technology, and then one in others in Legon. And what they are saying is that, what is the point of finishing? Then sending them to village when they never live in the village with all these mosquitoes.
Well,
and if they have a family, they can't. The schools there is poor, no water supply and everything. They're not going.
I get that, but you see, that is a fundamental flaw in the system. You know, you go to medical school to train as a doctor. You don't go to medical school to train as a doctor to be posted to Accra.
They say it's a qualification.
Well, but they are funded by the state. They're funded by the taxpayer.
Yeah, the taxpayer
so that assertion itself is not right. So, you know, they should be able to sign some agreement while they go to school, so they know when they're going, what they get into. Okay, and then once they finish, they can accept postings anywhere else. Again, there is talk of vacancies, you know, which I think will be good. So they advertise for jobs, you go, and then they can make it such that those who go to the villages probably get better money or more money or better conditions of service. Of course, I can advocate for good conditions for doctors at all times. It's not good enough. Unfortunately, our previous government didn't pay attention much. And I'm sure the MPP government will sort it out with time. Dominic, I haven't finished. I'm not blaming you, Dominic. I'm not blaming
the fault of the NDC.
I'm not blaming you. You've ruled Ghana for 30 years.
Oh my good God, you are in government. Just fix what you are messing around.
And we are.
You are messing around.
So, with this new referendum and the creation of new regions, you know, and new regions, it will be very good in terms of some local clinics, some hospitals being upgraded, and that will make such places, you know, more appealing for doctors to accept postings too. So that referendum has got that impact, and I'm quite pleased with that, because if you take a place like the Volta and OT is not a region. They will have a regional hospital, a district hospital, and so doctors, instead of taking a post to go to a village in the Volta region, they will now go to OT region as a regional hospital. So that makes it a bit more attractive in that sense. And there's too much reliance, again, on the big cities. Everybody wants to be in a big city. But where is the moral argument? Why do you go to medical school? Yes, I know it has to, the money has to be right, the conditions has to be right, but that moral objective, that moral thinking should not be forgotten by all.
Hold on, you bet me Alpha call you back. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Me Pacho, good evening. Pacho, your friend saying now free.
Well, my name is Musa Ademu and I'm calling from London.
You're calling from London. Yes, Musa Ademu, do you have a question for any of us? Or?
Well, I just want to ask Mr. Bimpe, why are they still talking
you
about
call your name right.
past administration when they have clearly come to Ghana, lied to the public, took an office, and promised that they are going to transform Ghana beyond recognition within 18 months, and they are nearly 24 months or even over 24 months, and they are still talking about previous government. If they think the kitchen is too hot, they should get out for somebody else to come and manage the affairs of the country. Thank you.
Mr. Bimpe will be becoming.
Well, that's clearly a confused caller. You know, a caller who doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's speaking facts.
Well,
those are facts.
Seems like you're related to the caller.
No, I'm not really.
I think responding to I was quiet for you to respond to the call.
All right.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's completely confused. Ghana has been transformed in 18 months. It's only him that doesn't see it. All the mess that was left behind. The mess that was left behind.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's only it's the mess that's been left behind by his administration that we've been sorting out gradually in transforming Ghana. When we talk about transformation, I think people need to actually go and define the definition of transformation. Because Ghana, for me, has been transformed. And not only Ghanaians are talking about it. You've got people from, you know, the donor community, the development partners, the World Bank. They're all talking about the transformation that's happening in Ghana. It's only the NDC who doesn't see that transformation. I'm surprised he said that we lied our way into power. We campaign heavily on a healthy manifesto of jobs and prosperity for all. Yeah. And that is how come Ghanaians bought that manifesto and elected the MPP into power.
Your friend said now for free. Okay, Nana. Bacho, now what question is saying?
Maybe question, and maybe some contributions to Kakra.
What do you mean?
Maybe NDC for power for the past 30 years, and I said 20-something years now. A dear potting part of William National Health Insurance for said Ghana for being a good health service. The dear one William Ghana for I boy. So, now a friend for buy. I'm not going to implement this at NHIS. And I'm out for it hospitals, hospitals. NDC for a probably a book for says cannot record confirm that now. Only say NHIS one like any. And I'm for to our back and begin to be top my game. To make sure that the NHIS and National Health Insurance will stand and make sure that everything is moving forward. Now, maybe I don't know this in India or can say, and someone kind of. I do not understand what he's trying to say.
Okay.
That's what the MPP people are doing. What Nana Akufo-Addo is doing, not what the MPP government is doing for Ghanaians.
Yeah, that was it.
He's a Ghanaian. And it's going to benefit from what the
that's it. That's it. For no call.
I can say something. My brother, thanks for your contribution. You see, when people say we have ruled for 30 years and there's nothing to show, you just have to watch yourself ask that question again. Because the reality is that all what you are seeing, all the infrastructure you are seeing, all the development that we have seen, life expectancy has moved from 61 to 62.7. Life expectancy. That shows that people are living better. That was during our time. We are speaking about mortality rate for young children, maternity, and children under 5. It has improved within our time.
Okay. Yabema, 1 minute.
Human Development Index.
One afraid. Now free.
Pacho, you're framing Kwaku. I'm free landing.
Okay. Bacho, over to Makaza.
Last time I mean this and say. Identity and MPP for Ebia Omugaka. Nobody Akobo Abandada. Or being so sorry or say.
Musa again. Changing his name.
Sounds like him, doesn't it?
It looks like
NDC. Now power.
Because he's multilingual, he wants to show off.
But your 1 minute.
Cover the whole country.
I was talking, wasn't I?
It's me, Juma. And senior person, the country, say, oh, Kai, Kwanya, Jam, and answer, yeah, John Mahama, or Fasu, and see hospitals are horror, and Nakufuado, and then I buy person baby.
Yo, yeah, that's it, yeah, that's it, thank you. Yo, thank you. Mr. Bimpe, sorry, wait a minute to us.
I I thought I finished on that submission with the doctor's postings.
Yeah. I think I didn't say something
there
about
was
that.
a call. But you know, Dominic mentioned the life expectancy and all that. But the Human Development Index, which measures, you know,
anyway,
how we're developing, fell within the NDC time from 2000 to 2015.
Cover a lot.
Yeah, but this question of the doctors to the rural areas, I think I didn't say something.
Okay, you only got. I give you 1 minute. Yeah, because we need to hurry up.
I think that, like I said, we gave a lot of incentives, for instance, and that is you can incentivize people to go to the rural areas. As I said the last time, when you go to rural areas, the respect that is accorded to you.
Hold on.
And if your promotion is given at the right time, you are given the opportunity to specialize, for instance.
Okay,
then it will encourage people to go to the rural areas.
Pacho, when you now call it,
Hello. Yeah, the doctor because of London. But then the custom to told you this year, 1 minute you got me now.
Okay.
Pacho, the better the chair, and for the trauma.
Pacho, your friend was saying. Okay.
The other same as the other say. And the 2 years in the barrel. The good are done for. Almost the bush of train. And so flow. A piano book. And Colacos could free. Never about 20 never Makuma 20 about 2 years wire. And it's 13 years, 2 years I'm right now. I am attending you. If you are moving the town, I could say, new government in an avenue. So I transfer 4 years, and it's got a better landing.
Thank you. Answer. Before you go on, Mr. Bang, Pacho, a tear phone in our Mutie or landing, and now Krobia Sono. Omega TV, live TV, and a program na Omega TV, print, video gifts. Omega House, Omega House TV, printing videos, gift items, normal bibre, 2 year. Who party videos bibia betima CD bibia nti who any bibia na make sure say we contact over me the normal so be ma as we go along the program no me the normal no ebe ma mo why nti who bibi so can about program here who question bia feel free to ask this question 2020 ebe there because MPP ni NDC wa ha CPP so joining us na independent any other party Sunday the Liberal Party of Ghana, so Ebewaha Sunday at 4 p.m. Almost as an aspiring presidential candidate, you be interview no ha. Enti also yene mo beka WhatsApp. Na mpese me read we ni kakra ansa na yaba the ekoso ewo online. Peter say has the NDC man forgetting of their filing fee? Okay, you answer because you better take a call in 1 minute. Sorry, but one afraid now free.
You know, sometimes when you're making a point now, it's all mad call this
yo. Nana, you have 1 minute, man realize it.
Yes,
okay, go on.
1 minute, but what I'm trying to say is that the question I want to put to my brother in the NDC is can he really pinpoint Adebankwa NDC for power for the past 6 years they've been in power? No, they can say this is what we do, like what the NPP government is doing. Saying you can say oh the buyer senior high school, this is what we do.
And they talk about health.
I'm not going to education, but what I'm trying to say, this is what they've done. What did the NDC do? What did the NDC do for Ghanaians? What can they say? Nothing. There is absolutely nothing. All the Ghana for to chaos. Ghana for say. So what I say, national health insurance is a major issue, and NPP is trying to make sure that issue is being resolved. So what I say, Ghana for being a good health service, and not good education, good health service.
Thank you. You're running out of time. Oh,
the NDC did nothing.
Nana, that was why. You're running out of time.
Yeah, I think I need to respond when they speak like this because it doesn't help.
Okay, go on.
My brother, the reality is that whatever NDC does, the MPP will just rubbish everything. when you get up, you are speaking outside what our topic is about. Now, what have we done? If you get up and you get to Kotoka International Airport, before you get to your own home, what have you not seen over there? I mean, is it not something to be proud of as a Ghanaian? First of all, let's acknowledge these things as Ghanaians before we bring party matters in. You get to Nkrumah Circle. We are all from, I was a police officer in Accra, and I know how the traffic used to be within the circle area. Now you go and then the cars are just moving. That is nothing.
Did you pay for
so they don't see all these things. The health insurance you are speaking of, we spent 2 billion to build infrastructure to make sure that you cannot employ these nurses and whatnot if you do not have the structures for them.
Okay.
And you have not got the structures to show. You are telling us we've done nothing. That could be that you are in a different world altogether.
Okay. Me ready kakra ewaha what people are saying. Aganda Mata the Kua was say, well done, Mr. Mbang. Juliana Oforiado say, please, Mr. NDC, stop lies. Oba Equia decency.
He's just saying that his brother is lying, not me.
He said Mr. NDC.
No, he said you is the one lying.
Oba Equia decency said, it takes time to rebuild a building that was built on a bad foundation. So Ghanaians need to give MPP more time to let Ghana work again.
Ghana is working again.
Mr.
Ghana is working.
Doremon Inyagil saying that Ghana actually has been transformed. You agree with me that transformation is relative. So we can't blame Kweku Bimpe for that. Bimpe for that. I know the other one is Obakuya decency said, Musa, you are not making sense again. So drop the call. Kobe Asma said MPP will have to do receipt in the health sector if it was to be exams. Grade or say grade D.
He knows that we scored an A for that. It is rather your 10 that is actually the D. I can tell you that.
Is it?
Obakuya decency say, if you can't stand critics and insults, don't do politics. And Mr. Musa Adamu say, as a lady, learn how to talk as you open yourself to attack. Yes. As people join us, feel free to call us. Omega Live TV is almost sponsored by Omega House Multimedia. Now, like I said, Omega House Multimedia, which is Omega Live TV, is sponsored by Omega House Multimedia. Now, omo printing and party, BBR printout, and video coverage. So, gifts items, any and bibre. And please make sure that you contact Omega House Multimedia. BBR fast Now, your next question here. National Health Insurance Scheme, yeah. MPP ni NDC waha. TF mo join ama agro na yede. Na nipa no fa bibre no. Omo say omo yare no call hospital omo duru ani attend no my way because obeduru yes hospital ni bi say omo nje National Health Insurance Scheme. Ono so na ben no so nje. Ebi so say omo di omo ka abide in the country onye ana yare na mudi aba na yenhwe no je say ya ten no eka no now no say omo refuse obi a odie na to taxi Ghana kra ambulance bi wa ho odin na wanya taxi bi ya pa no kwa ho ne na tum car bo no ana BBS ni ye na call hospital oduduru ani asa ten na way na omo call hospital. What did they do? What can be done? Koku, question.
Oh, sorry, Kofi. Thank you so much.
Me repeat here.
No, it's okay. Dominic Kazano Kaze, Omo, it's a second interchange, but I'm not even sure if they paid for it. I think the MPP for the BTS are second interchange. So just let's get that straight. We paid for it. We paid for it, Dominic. Let's get that straight.
Now on the issue,
of problems here. National Health Insurance Scheme they encounter. I mean, Dominic again mentioned expanding coverage during their time. They had to. It was their responsibility. Because after President Kufuor started, you know, you took over 2 terms, 8 years. You had to increase coverage. Now, if you couldn't increase coverage, okay, you would not even be fit to be in a position in Ghana. But did you even plan for the coverage I'm increasing for? No, you didn't. Why do I say that? Okay. According to the 2012 report, National Insurance Authority report, 2012, they were making an income of 773.8 million, right? They spent 788.3 million. So there was a deficit of 14.4 million. The number of claims, the amount of claims altogether, added up to 616.4 million, which is about 78% of the expenditure. Fine. 2013, income was 900 million. Expenditure was 1.1 billion. And then there's a deficit of 96 million. Now, right from 2012, one report, the National Health Insurance Authority's report, is already giving out red lights. They're spending more than they're getting. The deficit is getting bigger. They didn't do anything about it. And they blow out 2016 to 1.2 billion, which His Excellency's government has to come and clear that debt. No. 1.2. So who can tell me say you expanded coverage, Dominic? Dominic, you expanded coverage. Well done. Did you plan for the coverage? No. Because whilst you were having less income and more expenditure, deficit was going up, you didn't plan for it. This started in 2012. So talk of management again and competence. That's one thing. Now, this has the potential to jeopardize the whole scheme in terms of transparency and buy-in. Who's going to buy in to a scheme that is leaking money like this? It's bleeding money. It's a case of politicians blaming the managers blaming politicians. Recent 2017 say they were aware of the problem. They were planning for it. 2017, this thing started to leak in 2012. So if they had any know-how, or if they cared about the people of Ghana, the citizens of Ghana, whom they're claiming they're expanding the National Health Insurance Scheme for, why did they not solve that financial problem? The same report talks about challenges. Number one challenge was financial management sustainability challenge. So they know there's a problem. They can't do anything about it. Now Sebefia is saying, because there's a change in government, they were going to. How dare you? You've had all these years, and now you're saying you were going to because you lost the people of Ghana didn't buy into it anymore. So unfortunately, it's a brilliant scheme which MPP introduced. It's an excellent scheme, and we all know that we accept the advantages are there. But unfortunately, in terms of managing it, as you can see, during the NHIS time, again, bad management. It's taken us to come and clear the debt for the National Health Insurance, and we've streamlined the levies. So now it's a 2.5 standalone tax. It's not in addition to the VAT anymore.
Thank you.
My brother, yes, I have a lot to say because when you just make and give figures that do not tally at all.
This is from their report.
No, it is not.
This is their report.
I am just telling you that the National Health Service in 2010 was voted as the most transparent.
What National Health Service are you talking about?
The National Health Service scheme that was introduced.
You mean the National Health Insurance
Scheme was voted as the best.
So not National Health Service.
No, the scheme. But it's different. The scheme, of course, is different.
But you said National Health Service, which is why I went to the correction.
The insurance scheme was voted as the best. In fact, Mr. Mensah, who was
got an award.
He got 2 awards, not even one. One in Brussels.
Simon was
and let me tell you, and he had another one by the World Health Organization, the US Development Program, gave him as the most transformational leader who actually made sure that this system worked well in Africa. In actual fact, during our time, it was the best in Africa. And a lot of countries were coming to learn from us. So we couldn't have been doing bad if these people were recognizing our efforts. And then before they give you that, it is not like back home where people would just call their friends and give them awards. They would have monitored everything and whatnot. There was no debt left like 1.2 billion. My brother, where are you getting those figures from? The reality is that they took over a very strong National Health Service. There were challenges at the time. And don't forget that we have the private sector, we have the faith hospitals and whatnot. All these people had their tariffs as well. So the reason why people were not getting treatment, for instance, if you go to, let's say, a faith hospital, like one of the Christian hospitals, for instance, and then you did not pay because we had a situation where you took over and then you didn't pay for the drugs, the supplies, the claims that they made, you never paid for all these things. And then all what everybody wants to think is that, oh, we left the debt. So we left that everything is the debt. There was nothing that you could see about the NDC government during the time of Mahama. That is a fallacy. My brother, that is a fallacy. And I'll repeat again that the National Health Service was more potent during our time than
the National Health Insurance Scheme.
The health service itself in general. Because we had a situation where we promoted and made sure that the National Health Service in the country was working. The scheme was equally working. But then we had a situation where you took over and all what you are saying is, we left this thing, we left a debt of this, and you are battling with that debt. My brother, it is not true. When you wanted to come in, you said, when you come, you are going to give every district a dump.
What I want to
you are going to give every
let's not switch because
no,
we're on health.
We're
on health.
It's because of
Dominic, let's stick to health for
now.
now.
We are sticking to health. We are speaking about a situation where you said some things that you knew you were not able to do them.
Well, we've done them.
No, what have you done?
We've done them.
Tell me.
Let's not go into that. That's not the debate for today. Today we're on health.
So today we're on health, and I'm just simply saying to you that we did the best in the National Health Service that no government has ever done that before. Number one. Number two, it was well utilized. I told you in 2014, we had over 26 million people that attended the A&E department. You think that and it was our time, we had the highest percentage of usage of the National Health Insurance Scheme. So if you sit down here and say that, oh, it was collapsed, there was nothing, you inherited all the debts, you are just saying something that Ghanaians know very well that it is not the case. It is rather this time that everything is going wrong.
No, a TF 1% almost here. The 1% almost here. This is what they want to hear. So we through hospital. Now hospital also one general because I bind in the car. What can be done? What can be done to stop all these things?
I'm going to Obama MPP are buying next time. And you sort of problems.
You are in government.
It's going to Obama MPP are buying.
Who are governments is here?
Of course we are.
Yes, so fix it.
I'm surprised. Well, we won't fix it because we're already paying the debt.
No, you are not fixing it.
Look, under your government, Dominic, I'm surprised you haven't realized this.
I know
National
that.
Health Insurance Scheme was collapsing. It was almost on its knees.
No.
People were not accepting the card. People were not even accepting it, as you're saying, because the government, they owed money. Now, we have been able to try gradually pay some of these. I'm surprised they were not aware of.
No.
Dominic, where have you been?
No, you are speaking as
where have you been, Dominic?
As if that during
1.2 billion Ghana cedis is what this government has paid so far to revitalize.
I have just told you that
the National Health Insurance. It is true.
Your leadership have made wrong choices.
These are documents.
You said we shouldn't go to the scandals that have taken place.
Documents.
I am telling you, we didn't leave that amount.
Let's
you know that's the
Dominic, these reports are the National Health Insurance Authority's own report, and you are denying them.
No, and that is not true. You just mentioned that
this is their report.
No,
it's free online. It's a public document.
Okay.
So you're denying the report.
Nobody left 1.2 billion.
Oh,
you are just saying this.
The debt started in 2012. You didn't do anything about it. And it's been rising year on. 1.2 billion national insurance. You have come and
everything is going down. Just take responsibility.
We won't fix it. We are fixing it. Ghana is working again.
Ghana is working again.
Yes.
You know the hardship that is happening in Ghana now.
Oh, please.
You know the hardship.
You would have sorted it in 30 years. You would have sorted it.
Listen,
you should have sorted it in 30 years.
Your own MP.
30 years.
No, your own MP said
we have come in 2 years. We're doing it.
Listen.
You didn't hear from Kennedy Japan. He said the hardship is unbelievable.
Thanks to the NDC
Not
government.
in the history of Ghana that they've ever had.
Thanks to the NDC. Thanks to the NDC.
Now, a tear for episode, Obia question phone who said about National Health Insurance Scheme. No, Sebre a higher very she Ghana for more mutie free around the world about your National Health Service. Your question as you see I drew so no. You say obi duru ho na say mpacho we yebo obi duru ho na say okọ hospital na say hospital no say wonye no a e de na obeye na nipa no so bi a o yare critically mpacho your friend say now free. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm so online there. I can't take a cram in. Hello.
Hello. What do you mean, ka?
Me too, kapa.
Aye. Mpacho your friend say.
It's Nana. I'm back again.
Okay, Nana. Yeah.
I just want to make a suggestion.
Okay.
So who see Daya? You make sure say a diner the foundation of a dino is very solid. Before we see, no matter how beautiful we see dino piano, the foundation has to be solid. National health scheme, the foundation was weak under the NDs. So Nana Akufo-Addo is making sure that the foundation becomes more stronger because the foundation is already weak. That is why local hospitals that people are complaining say they are not paying or they are not doing that 88 million. That is what we are saying. It's a million it's a million. You have to vote back the NPP back into power in 2020.
As long as it takes. As long as it takes.
I tell you, it's a disaster.
Okay.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster, my brother.
Okay.
You are speaking about this. It's a disaster.
I've been under NDC for how many years?
Kwaku, yeah, that was it.
A long time.
And we dealt well with it. We dealt well with it.
Oh, by leaving at 1.2
No, we
billion
dealt well with it.
city debt.
I am just telling we dealt well with it.
I haven't seen anyone.
You are speaking
deny
about the
public
foundation being
reports.
weak. Are you
I'm
speaking
surprised.
about Kufuor's time that it was
Okay,
weak?
Kwaku, Nana, yeah, that was it. Why?
Because you are saying the truth.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
And you have to blame them.
Thank you.
MPP for that.
Thank you.
You have to blame the MPP because it was Kufuor's time before us, and you are saying that the foundation is.
Okay, Nana, thank you very
Nana.
much. We running out of time. Why? Thank you very much. Yeah, that's it. Why? Thank you. Mr. Mbang.
Yeah,
Dominic, I
just want to say that people have to face realities. We are all Ghanaians. Before we speak about the party, let's think about our country first. When everybody comes online and says that the NDC did nothing, it is not right. It's just not right. That is not the reality on the ground. So it doesn't make sense at all for someone to say that, oh, we came and caused a mess and you are trying to clear it. It's not true. During our time, we made sure that we identified the vulnerable. They were treated free of charge. I mentioned to you 1.6 million people. Those who were not to pay anything at all.
We're going back again.
So what again are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I am just simply saying that.
My answer, now the question, it's about what to say because you're running out of time. So, people with mental health problems, yare, like Sebi, kakra.
Yeah, mental challenges.
Challenges kakra. A number of them, ya chaining Ibin boduem, ukon krasiena, idoma boduem ni adie. National Health Insurance Scheme doesn't cover them. And ibinum kra no edimunu ko voodoo center. Say kwako two mental health na free any idea, And last year, when the government came to power, the government pledged last year to ban the practice of people with mental health being shackled in prayer camps, any voodoo camps. Government, yes, sir. Yeah, you are pledging, so making sure so yes, I didn't. Oh my, even cry no. Obi wa afie nipa ne fa omo de omo hye dem no omo atoprum na je so omo nkwa abonten any ade. What is the government doing to ensure that services reach people with mental health difficulties? I be bo omo matimi live independently because nipa no ni abusuan afa obo hu anu atie sikrom omo ni nam krom ni ade in fact awo bi ko Ghana through me no so ko hwe Ghana they wanted to go themselves omo ko no omo hu krom sa no omo suro omo hu such things now they fear what can be done to support this area by the government? Dominic,
yeah, that's fine. Thanks for that question, my brother. I think we have to look at this holistically. it's a problem, and the problem about, you know, locking mental health people, chaining them, and not they are not getting access to medical support and the rest is something that our government, who were in power, we try to tackle. The reality is that we have to revisit our culture in one way or the other, because, you know, we have people who think that if they have a mental person in the family is something that is degrading and that kind of thing. But the reality is that we have a responsibility to support and help these people. So I will say that we have to look at culture and see some of the bad practices in the past and some of the things that were done in the past that will have some effects on people with mental health problems, and deal with that. Education is very, very important. In every district, and now even health centers, they have got mental health attaché nurses, people who are trained to look after people. You know, it is not like those days where we had to send all mental health people to, let's say, Ankafo or Pantan psychiatric hospitals. They have now regionalized it so that you could even treat them in the communities in Ghana. In our time, we did do that. So I think that it is a very important area where we have to really have a very good communication, education to our people regarding how people with mental health problems or special needs should be looked after and supported. And I think that it's not just the society that will be talking about this. Government needs to put policies in place. Just like what I said to you the last time, the Ministry of Gender, for instance, was identified to look after people who are indigenous. They are very vulnerable, and they therefore they are not able to afford the National Health Service scheme, and therefore they needed to be counted and be exempted. And therefore, we had a situation where we went around to the rural areas in collaboration with the district assembly, and then we were able to identify those people who needed that help. So I think that it is any government in power to be able to protect the vulnerable and make sure that even the exemptions we are speaking of, it shouldn't affect this category of people.
Yeah. I mentioned mental health, but, you know, maybe people with disability, other disabilities. Of course,
special needs.
Yes. Are also included.
They are also included,
I've seen in Ghana someone with amputated legs, selling ice water.
That's right.
You know, in a very difficult circumstance. Yeah.
But that is where we also have to make sure that disability is not inability. We have to get out there, and like I said, it is again on government to make sure that these people there are some of them who can be trained to be able to look after themselves. They don't necessarily need to bring any income, but they can, let's say, look after themselves. So that if it comes to personal hygiene and looking after themselves, their security and looking after their surroundings, they should be able to do so. In actual fact, some of them can even go to the university and then become, you just spoke about somebody who was amputated. Amputation is not any sickness that can make you a vulnerable person. If your mindset and if there are facilities in place that can help you. How many times have you not seen lecturers in this country on wheelchairs, and they are giving the lecture and they are equally going to work just like any other person? So I think that we should be able to support these people to maximize their potential so that they can be of help, not to themselves alone, but even to society.
Thank you. Question.
It's okay. You don't have to. Now, mental issues, they are quite disheartening. I think that there has to be health education trying to change attitudes towards disabilities and mental health. It is really disheartening and frightening sometimes when you see people abandoned. But, you know, mental health care is meant to be free in Ghana, but it's only 1% of the health budget that goes to mental health. So there is a bigger problem of health financing, which is not enough. Now, it is shocking to know some of the statistics regarding mental health. So 41% of Ghanaians had some form of mental psychological disorder at some point. And mental illness reduces lifespan by as much as 12 to 20 years, and high suicide rates of 1,500 deaths per year can be attributed to one form of mental disorder. 40% of all cases at any general hospital in Ghana have got some kind of mental health connection. And 2.4 million Ghanaians have experienced some sort of mental health. So you would think that with these dire statistics, you know, authorities will be able to kind of deal with it. But I think it's a failure on both governments. Successive governments have failed Ghanaians on many occasions when it comes to mental health. The NDC even more so than the MPP, because they've ruled longer, and I'm sure Dominic will accept that. After passing,
hold on. Etiefo obi a person afraid a ubetimi afraid na what he said there were mental health. How are people with mental health difficulties, the other disabilities, you know, Ghana na if NHIS, you know, National Health Insurance Scheme doesn't cover them, no. And who, and as I say, who has some near can ha a dear na buying betimi ama sa nipana omu wo sa situation na difficulties, you know. Omo betimi aye covered a ye betimi ahwe omo aye obi okra waka fie ye de na to chain mu ye de na to voodoo camp ni ade enti we de wasempa kwaku. So, you know, as I was saying, I think successive governments have failed the people of Ghana in terms of mental health. And I said the NDC more so than the MPP because they ruled much longer, and I will come back to that in a minute. This is what there has to be that finance. And if you look at this country, for example, mental health is an area which is heavily financed. Mental health nurses even earn more money than the normal nurses because they realize the importance and the impact of not just the person, the family, and the community. And so that education has to be around from the health education service. Now, this is what NDC said in 2016 after they've been in power for 2 terms. We shall prioritize mental health care and ensure strict implementation of the Mental Health Act 2012 by working with local and international partners to galvanize support for the attainment of objectives that will drastically improve mental health care in Ghana. To this end, we will stimulate training of more psychiatric doctors and nurses. We will move Pantan Hospital to blah, blah, and then blah, blah, blah. We'll build. Okay, so why didn't they do that in the 8 years? They said they're going to do this at the end of the 8-year period when they were seeking for another extra term. The Mental Health Act was passed in 2012. So why have they waited to the end of their term, 2016, when they are now trying to get more power to say, we are going to change mental health? They did nothing about mental health when the act was passed in 2012. There is no legislative instrument that will allow more funding to come into mental health. This is what they said. This is what I'm saying. Dominic, you can't say this is wrong because this is from your manifesto. Okay? So why wait after 8 years? Why wait till 2016 to make this statement about your commitment to mental health? An aspect of Yenya life which is very important. Now, this is what the MPP said. Providing legislative, administrative, and financial support for the implementation of the mental health bill. That is happening. Meetings have already taken place between stakeholders in mental health in Ghana, and the Speaker of Parliament has assured Ghanaians that they're working hard to pass this legislative instrument that will allow more kind of direct the funding, the procedures, the mental health authorities a bit more streamlined, a bit more legal. Why didn't DC not do it? And I'm sorry I keep saying that because it surprises me. In addition to that, there is also a lot of advocacy work being done by the youth wing of the MPP. So we're doing something in government. The youth are also taking it on board. They're talking about it. They're having discussions about it. On top of that, this is the first time this has happened. They have disbursed money to the District Assembly's Common Fund for people with disability. ABC that. So tell me, Dominic, why did your government, thinking about Ghanaians, hold on, if they had Ghana at heart, or did they just not know what to do? Hold on. Just for your TFL, hold on.
You can make your submission, but
hold on. Give me that. Yeah, remember not to also. Now, also, what we said, Dominic, what we said, what can they also be? Now, person me catch it. What can be I say government allocated funds for or they mark people with disabilities, such as disabilities.
As we know,
okay.
You know, hearing.
And they say no, you be who on more street number 3 so, and I say.
Kofi, like I've said this many times. Sanima, where you just don't get up one day and round everyone up. That's an option. There's always an option. But this one, it will take time.
Okay.
And this is why we need this government to stay in power as long as possible, looking at what he's done in the first 2 years to transform Ghana. I have every confidence. So if this government stays for longer, we will not have this problem down the line.
And I would say disability, you know, the first time.
It's the first time.
Okay.
Oh, and they didn't think about that. And tell me if I'm wrong, Dominic, because this is also.
No,
I hope you're not going to disprove this figure.
I am just telling you that we identified the vulnerable, including the mental health category of people, and we made sure that they were exempted from the National Health Insurance Scheme. If you are speaking about funding for the what you call the mental health scheme, the mental health department, for instance, it was our time that we spend more money on them than any other, because I told you that we identified them.
And that's why you left the debt.
And a total of 1.6 million.
That's
people.
why you left the debt of 1.2 billion.
Oh, so it is a
this is why the National Insurance Scheme is always collapsing.
To identify people who are vulnerable.
How did you identify them?
We identify them by going to the rural areas and making sure that those people who are vulnerable, we got them registered. That was what we did.
Really?
And let me say something again.
I thought you did it through the LEAP program.
He kept on saying that. Of course. And we did that. And then, but that was, I told you that the Minister of Gender was what we used. And they, in collaboration with the Assembly, were able to identify these people. And then they were exempted from the National Health Service. So, my brother, one thing I can tell you, and every Ghanaian knows about that, is MPP, talk. We will do this. We have done this. We will do this.
So World Bank is wrong. IMF is wrong. Bloomberg is wrong.
What haven't you
All
promised?
these houses are
what
wrong.
Haven't you promised Ghanaians?
Everybody's wrong.
No, I said, what haven't you promised
so
Ghanaians?
IMF is wrong.
What haven't you
World
promised?
Bank is wrong.
I am just that World Bank was giving us praises. I just
One
told you that
promise we made.
The World Health Organization giving us credit for how we run the National
One
Health
promise we
Service
made on mental health is what we're delivering.
Yeah, but that is
we are delivering a promise, a manifesto promise that we made to the people of
brother,
Ghana. On that manifesto is what they voted us into power.
Their manifesto, they shouldn't even divert here. Don't sit here and try to divert.
I have just given you a section and what
Ghanaians that when you come, every district will get about 1 billion. It hasn't happened. 2 years down the line.
Dominic,
then you will dig dams for every village.
We're talking about health.
No, but this is part of health. You speak about mental health.
Stay on health.
Let me make a definition of it and you get to know about what I'm talking about.
That money is happening. It's
going on. Happening.
That through the Ministry of Special Initiatives. It is happening.
My brother, the reality
it is going on.
Call nobody.
Okay? What the NDC would have done was to go and give the money to the constituencies and then we'll spend it and blow it.
Yeah.
We wanted to put structures in place.
Call nobody.
And we have put the structures in place. We have the development authorities set up who are distributing this money, who are disbursing this money, who are working hard to make Ghana a place to be.
Oh, you are
Dominic, what are you talking about?
You are in a different world.
No, Dominic.
Do you know why?
What
because
are you talking about?
Your own MP has lamented about the hardship Ghanaians are going
through. He's entitled to his opinion.
No, it's not his opinion.
He's entitled to his opinion.
That's the truth. Sometimes you might not like him, but I can tell you he speaks about the truth.
I have given both of you
but I just want you to understand that
things out. You know what?
But I just want him to understand that.
Hold on, please. What I want to say is that we thank you. We will continue. We have 2 more questions, you know, but we would like to pay our attention to our audience who are also listening. If anyone have any question, obi busa, upesa busa question biya na se obi biya upesa okan. Mr. Mo betima call in. The number is 07961700521. 07961700521. Omega Live TV is sponsored by Omega House Multimedia. They do print t-shirt be or anything printing in terms of party, birthday, anything be a design, any design be a video coverage. So and almost gift items. Now so contact Omega Live TV and that's Omega House Multimedia. 0203 581 8794 0203 581 8794. Intiatie for obi a question bi a obetima call in you be answer wa. Now you be call drones questions so but this one is being one of the topics in terms of our health. There were many commentators almost support to, many commentators are against. Many commentators have described the government intention to deploy the use of drones for medical deliveries as very useful. I feel they are useful, and has called all Ghanaians to support it, the idea, because this will help the use of drones to deliver blood and other health supplies nationwide. If you say Krasia no baby baby and Tibin so we hear other health equipment, TV, medicine, blood, any sanoman, a bit my sanoman. However, many commentators have the view that the amount of money are involved in the project, could have been used to provide healthcare services or deprive communities in the areas, What is your own view regarding the drones, Mr. Mbag Dominic?
Yeah,
and if beneficial for the people of Ghana. Mr. Oyen take okay, Nipano works.
Thanks for the question, my brother. If something is good for the country, we all have to raise our hand and appreciate it. But there are times where we have to also look at our state of development. The drones are better used in Rwanda than any other place in the world. And this is because they have reached a stage where their roads are good, they have first-class hospitals. In fact, their people don't run to other countries when their leaders are sick to go to other places. They are treated in Rwanda. And also, their nurses are not at home, including the doctors. If we have to make a priority, and this is where I did say from the beginning that sometimes the idea is a good one, but then unfortunately it's not this time. It's not this time because you just mentioned that doctors are even refusing to go to rural areas because the roads are not good. Some places have no even electricity. And some places there are no amenities that they can be bold or be proud to say, I live in this particular village or this particular town. So if we are in that state of the place where you see people on the media carrying motorbikes through rivers to be able to go and carry people to the health center, we are not prioritizing things in that way in which we can get our infrastructure right before we can go to this, and you will spend about $12 million to employ or to make sure you are putting drones up. That is a misplaced choice. And that is one of the reasons why I said that if the administration is using or having bad choices, it's going to affect the taxpayer. And this is one typical example of it. It is a good thing, but not this time of our development. We still have roads.
So what you are saying is that the drone, in your view, as NDC, is good, but not the right time.
It's not the right time. The NDC wouldn't have made it as a priority now because we have nurses over, I just mentioned that, and doctors, over 37,000 of them are at home. And these are people who should go to the hospital. You speak about drones. Drones is not going to carry human beings. It's just medicine and that of blood. And if you think about it, we are speaking about a situation where our roads are in a deplorable state. The hospitals are in a deplorable state. We were tackling those things first. You have to do the foundation first. You make sure things are put in place before you bring something like this. But you bring something like this and then you have 37,000 health professionals, including doctors, staying at home, and you think that is a priority. The answer is no for NDC.
Well, Wasempa.
Thank you so much. Let me just clarify that cost is not to the taxpayer. So that is an erroneous impression. That is being borne by companies on their corporate responsibility. So
nothing is free.
No. You said it was taxpayer. It's not being paid by the taxpayer.
I just said that nothing is free.
No. I'm not saying it's free. I'm saying that it's not being paid by the taxpayer. So that's a big error that you just made there. Now, I can't sometimes, I struggle to understand the fact that NDC has been in power for 30 years. They've not been able to innovate and come out with such brilliant ideas. Same as free SHS, they walked out, they opposed it. Same as, hydro deal, they said it was a loan, it wasn't a loan. I don't understand. So this is a specific targeted intervention. It's not changing the policy direction of the Ministry of Health. or Ghana Health Service. It's a specific intervention for mothers who are dying from overbleed, excessive bleeding when they're having babies in the rural areas. For people that has been bitten by snakes and they're dying. You'll sit here in London and tell me it's okay for these people to die back home because of $12 million. How can you put a price on life? Dominic, I'll ask you that question.
Your priority is wrong.
You don't
That's
have
all
to
what I'm
answer
saying.
it. You don't have to answer it. Dominic, you don't have to answer it.
Yeah,
Let me finish first.
You know that I won't answer it now. Yes, go ahead.
You know, it's a brilliant idea, just like many ideas that the MPP government has come with, particularly with looking at double tracking and free SHS and all that. The cost is not to the taxpayer. Okay, so let's clarify that. Now, you're looking at 4 distribution centers who are going to use drones to deliver essential medication and blood to rural areas. It will cover about 14 to 15 million, which is about right? Because each drone covers about 80-kilometer radius. So on that, if you times it by 3, you're looking at roughly about half the coverage of Ghana, which is fine because in Ghana, just under 50% lives in the rural area. So you're looking at 1 in 2 will benefit. 1 in 2 Ghanaians will benefit from this particular initiative in the rural areas. That is a fantastic idea. The United Nations have come out with a report. In that report, they advise countries like Ghana to find ways of delivering essential medication to rural areas when the roads are not good. Drones don't walk on roads, Dominic. You said Rwanda had good roads. No, drones don't walk on the roads.
Your priority first. Your priority first. Get the roads first.
Dominic, they're in the air. This is not changing the government's strategy on road construction. No, it's not. It's not changing the government's strategy on health. No, it's not. It's a specific targeted intervention for 30% of mothers, our poor mothers who work so hard to look after us, who are dying because of excessive bleeding in childbirth. Now, I can't see how any Ghanaian would dispute or challenge this. I find it really annoying when people are coming against such profit. The idea is, look, if you're telling me there are other companies who deliver it different, there isn't any other company. This is the Zipline company is a one of its kind in the world that delivers the drone service under national coverage. So that is one of the reasons why it was sole source. People talk about the fact that it was sole source, and the law allows it. So the government did not break any rules because they followed the rule to the T. They did the procurement because Zipline is the only company. Ghana is not paying for this. Companies in Ghana are going to pay for it. This is the vision of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa, which the NHIS will not understand because in 30 years, they've not been able to dream about something like this. Why in 30 years have they not covered all the mothers who are dying in the villages because of excessive bleeding? Why?
We have
why?
Yeah, of course.
And as soon as the MPP comes out with the idea, every MPP initiative policy has been rubbished by the NDC without providing an alternative. And I found that quite...
I'm running out of time.
I've just mentioned to you that it's your priority that is wrong. I started by saying that the idea of drones, I thought you heard me right. The idea of drones is a good thing. It has worked well in Rwanda. It has worked well in the USA and some other places. The National Health Service here, do we have drones flying all over?
So your priority is
No, let me finish. So I am saying that the basic needs of the Ghanaian it's not drones at this time.
The women need the blood.
I know
they're also Ghanaians.
Of course they need.
People dying from snake bites need the venom. But if you they're also Ghanaians, Dominic.
If you keep over 37,000 health professionals at home.
Because of your administration.
And they cannot
because of your administration's lack of competence. Which is why this is happening.
That is a disaster. That means you are not making choices right.
By the way, let me clarify.
And let me say something again. You kept on saying so. Let me say something.
Ghana is not buying the drones, Dominic. You kept on saying that. We are paying for a service that's been provided by a company. So we don't own the drones. We don't own anything. There is no risk to Ghana.
I can assure you that there is nothing that is gotten for free. There is nothing, my brother. You know that.
It's a performance-related contract.
And let me say something again.
It's a performance-related contract.
When you are in opposition, you kept on
saying... When you perform, you get paid. When you perform, you get paid. That is what is meant by performance-related contract.
They kept on saying that we were borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. My brother, they've done only 2 years.
Thank you.
But they've borrowed over 40 billion
so far. Hold on, Dominic.
It's because we're paying. The mess you left behind. Dominic, hold on. That man is going to the rubbish you left behind.
It's extending your president's house. You can see him. It's extending your president's house.
Not at all.
Part of that.
He works and gets paid. So he has money to do that. We are sorting out the mess you left behind with that kind of money.
Audience,
Dominic, come on. What are you talking about?
Me bacha one friend now free.
Hello, brother. If me can say free, Birmingham.
Okay.
Me pato me be say we say asem kakra. And then NDC for no. Say aso mo tan Ghanaians. And the pepe bia yes e ba Ghana no. No waka say tia. The dikan ko for dem from cho ko for ka so si biblia so de ko begum. Na jo draw ni confirm de na be ji ni pankwa.
Me da say.
Me di secretary de akoye confirm ye hu fa so.
Me da say.
Say na na do di secretary ko say groom kra. Say yes e di say for na so this guy go say ma. E go stabilize.
Okay.
We have been busy doing that, and the records are there.
Thank you.
We have been busy doing that. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nanakia.
Yeah, of course.
We were very important question.
Yeah.
Ghana for no be learning about all politicians, irrespective of the party. But
yeah, my brother. The reality is that when NDC does anything in Ghana, the MPP has this attitude of being psychologically blind. They don't see it at all. And that is exactly what my brother is just putting across here. At the end of the day, I am saying to you that the drone, it is a good thing. But I can say as well that the priority in Ghana development now, the drones is not the best choice.
That's what you would have
done. There are some alternatives to be able to get things in quicker time.
Thank you, before maybe some question, he said something about Boruska. Let me tell him a bit about what we use the money for. We paid 300 million Ghana for school feed in our country. He didn't pay school feed. There was debt. 1.2 billion debt at national health insurance. 2.8 billion debt energy sector. Net 11 billion Ghana cedis. Get the belly banks na mugu no. Teacher allowances.
I will say something.
Teacher salaries are 1 trillion.
You know one thing.
Okay.
You know one thing.
Since the Caribbean at the years, what are you talking about?
No.
You point.
Yeah.
Mesa Baso. Hold on. Mesa Baso. Mesa Badia Mumi no can. But you see, I'm basing Busa question. Now in Ghana, our history of health service, national health insurance scheme. Before that, other services are provided.
Oh, don't even go before that. That's terrible.
No. Before that, another service are provided.
Before that,
what I realized, they said, hold on. What I realized, they said,
people are dying on the hospital floor.
Mr. Wa, what I realized,
what's happening now, not that our time.
MP say Ghana, and even a buying and Casano. Sometimes you better say a buying or hen hair for Abutre. Okoyese. Don't we trust our own doctors? And I say, do we feel say we are educating them right? And I say, because say abai obi ono tigana ho, no ntimi to kwan ko hwen ho baby no. Na wo dwane ko hwen ho baby dia senye. It has been happening from government after government after government. What do you think? What is your own view about that? And government policy? Also, Mr.
I don't think I'm trust doctors and nurses. Now, say Dominic Ghanaian or a nurse. It do Ghana about you come and people like Dominic who are Ghanaians who are educated, who knows what they're doing. It's the same as if he. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice because they can afford it. It's a choice. Yes.
President no attempt.
You cannot take that choice from people. That's just like.
But then that's denying
people their fundamental freedom. It's a choice. That's what I'm saying.
Then where is the allegiance? Where is the patriotic? Where is the
many MPs and politicians go to hospitals in Ghana. Many of them. There is just the odd case that people can fly because they can afford it. I won't even look beyond that.
That means we can't trust the doctors in Ghana or what?
I don't think it shows that. What is what I'm saying is that you come and meet Dominic, who's a nurse. My friends are doctors. You come and meet them. They will treat you the same Ghanaians now. I don't see it like that. MPP are buying the national health insurance scheme. I cover lots of Ghanaians. Thanks to the NDC, welcome here by expanding coverage. If you do some planning, they say cover a lot of people.
We've covered there yes.
To sort that problem out.
I hope, but I'm glad you have mentioned
it's an affordability and a case of privilege and choice. And you can't deny people like that in a democracy and in a development.
But we feel that we are MP, we are a role model for the country,
and many of them
you should use your own.
Many of them do. Sani okay, I don't know specific cases. There might be disease. Are not a best practice not recommended. Say abroad. There are certain illnesses, and I'm sure Dominic as a nurse will agree with me.
Then what will the government do to improve those areas? Then?
Well, they learn from it, don't they? Starting with the health insurance coverage. Increasing health spending, eventually, Dominic has almost the same infrastructure. Machines come together with our donor partners here to sponsor F and there. That is where the real change will come in. It has to be more spending on health.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother, you see, when I spoke about choices, it's very, very important. And I continue to speak about the current administration and how the choices is eating into our economy. 110 ministers. Over 1,900 people in this Flagstaff house. These people are all paid.
They're not taking double salary.
Oh, I'm just telling you, they're all paid.
They're not taking double salary.
And you double all these things, and it doesn't make sense.
They're not taking double salary.
You get what I mean?
MPs were taking double salaries.
Back to your question, we should be able to do that in Ghana. And that is why if you go to Rich Hospital now, we have put the hospital upgraded to the state that I can tell you whatever is done in the UK here could also be done over there. If you go to the teaching hospital that we've started in Legon, for instance, it should be able to treat all the complex cases as well. That was our time. We're doing these things. But, you know, it is easy to say that the Ghana National Health Insurance Scheme do not cover some sicknesses and whatnot. And yet politicians, and when I say politicians, I don't speak about just MPP alone. Politicians, as a Ghanaian first, will always leave Ghana and come to this place. In fact, they come and they pay at the expense of the taxpayers' money. If you say it's a choice and you think that people are using their monies to come and pay, it's not true. In actual fact, they are using the Ghanaian taxpayers' money to come for the treatment. So what we are simply saying is, improve these hospitals that are built. The infrastructure is there.
Your government set a good example.
My government was putting up structures and making sure that we are able to get first-class treatment in Ghana, to the extent that the sub-African region will be coming to Ghana
and that's why nurses and doctors are staying at home.
And because you are so you cannot see it at all. That's why the Legon hospital is still lying empty with all the facilities that has been put in place.
Dominic, that's why the doctors are staying at home.
How can someone be so mean? How can someone be mean like this? The nurses are home because your government has taken and you. You see, when your vice president was going around saying, "When I come, I will arrest the CD and lock it." Now, what has happened to the CD? It's flying. The economy is hard.
You have
the CD is
you have no idea how stable the CD has been compared to when you guys were in.
When we were in, the CD was better.
Dominic, let's
do you
not
not send money to Ghana?
That's on the economy. We'll do that debate later on. That's
but the reality, I am telling you, my brother, is that it is possible to be able to treat. Why should people go to South Africa for treatment? Is it not an African country? We can develop the place to the stage that you don't need to fly and come to abroad.
It's the beauty of democracy.
It's the beauty of democracy.
You know, people have freedoms of choice.
Yeah, of course. If a businessman wants to come and have treatment in abroad, it's fine. He has worked for his money.
So politician is not a human being, so he should not be allowed.
When the politician takes the taxpayers' money, when he should have been developing his own health facilities to treat them within the sub-region, and you come this way, that is a blunder.
Wow.
And your government is not doing anything about that.
You set very good examples of that for us, NDC.
Of course, we try to put up the right places to make sure that
thank you very much.
It's not what you're saying.
Your health service assembly, next week, next week, next week, Joe Sister Dakwa so I say Omega Live TV. So Omega Live TV I say for this program. Oh, like I said, Omega print out, Omega video coverage, see the near there. Next week we will be talking about taxation. And no man dogs from Ghana. Oh, says and
that's why you catch them. You catch them red-handed.
Any tax,
let's not start that debate, Dominic.
It's a disaster at the ports, isn't it?
With all your carrier taxes.
I say it's a disaster.
With your carrier taxes.
What carrier tax are you talking about?
Please, don't go there.
Go to Abusuka and see what people are going through.
Next week,
so that, of course,
Yedawase Dominic for coming.
And thank you for having us.
MPP and NDC representative for today's program in the UK.
And we thank all our listeners and your contributions. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for anyone who called in as well.
Yes, but let's get the facts from Ghana, and then we try to satisfy ourselves rather than always putting the blame on NDC.